Welcome to the Siemens On Demand webinar in association with CYBERUK 2021, discussing the effective management of cybersecurity threats to ICS. My name is Dale Geach, ICS Cybersecurity Lead for Siemens Smart Infrastructure UK. The IEC 62443 suite of standards and norms are horizontally focused and are applicable to a wide-ranging number of industries which rely upon safe and secure operation of their operational technology, or OT as it's more commonly known. Owners operators of critical services rely on both IT and OT systems, but it's the OT environment which provides that cyber-physical interface to real-world operations to ensure that it's operating as designed, but also to ensure the highest levels of safety. The Industrial Control System, or ICS as it's more commonly known, is a term used to describe the various versions of OT systems which exist to provide the backbone for a number of critical services which we rely upon as a society. The ICS would typically contain both hardware and software components integrated together, and they control the physical environment with high levels of automation and safety critical functions. From manufacturing plants to mobility infrastructure to energy systems, it is the ICS which drives the continued and smooth delivery of those essential commodities which we take for granted on a daily basis. It's only when we lose access to these commodities, for example, electrical power to our home or business, is when we truly understand the importance that we place upon these infrastructures which sustain our modern way of life and drives our national and global economies. It's for this reason why the ICS is and continues to grow as an attractive target for malicious attack. The drive for improved management and operation of our businesses and services has taken many on a journey of discovery on the benefits of digitalisation. However, the adoption of digital technologies and more widely IoT brings with it greater connectivity. This connectivity can require access to our core systems such as ICS or corporate IT networks, and expands on the number of endpoints within our IT and OT systems, which provides potential new entry points and landing pads for a malicious actor to launch an attack. Therefore, it's a certainty that before we consider deployment of a digitally enabled environment, we must first consider the risks and apply appropriate security measures to protect our business. This requires appropriate insights and expertise in safety and industrial security, which matches the operational domain in which we are targeting. The last decade has proven to us through a number of high-profile events the attractiveness of the ICS and OT environments for malicious attack. With this in mind, it is ensuring the continued availability of the operation which is the prime objective of industrial security. And this is followed by the integrity of the functions which a system performs through applying the right security measures that aim to avoid unplanned outage and potential associated cost and safety outcomes. Confidentiality of data is also a key focus, but this is not as critical compared to availability and integrity for the industrial security focus. But eradicating 100% of the risk from vulnerabilities being exploited can never be achieved, and this is well understood. We can't account for zero-day exploits, but we must do what we can to prepare, plan and keep ahead of the curve by evolving our secure environment and processes to account for the evolving threat landscape. It's how we add appropriate layers of protection and security to reduce the known risk and then understand, accept and manage any residual risk which remains that gets us to our target security level. Amidst the growing and evolving concerns around security of our critical infrastructure, regulation will continue to set the standard of expectation amongst the stakeholders and custodians who serve the nation with critical services. Demonstration of compliance is not a nice to have and unavoidable when it comes to critical national infrastructure. And this encompasses the secondary and tertiary industries also, which provide value-adding products and services which play their part in ongoing critical service provision. And this highlights the importance of effective management of supply chains. And in addressing this, it's the development and adoption of frameworks such as NIS and NIST, and standards and norms such as the IEC 62443 suite, which now closely aligns with the IEC 61508 safety system standard, and the ISO 27000 series, which equips us with the targeted guidance to incorporate into an overarching security strategy. So bringing the application of the IEC 62443 standard into focus, we start by considering a programme of activity targeting a risk-based approach to implementation of security measures. We target three core strategic areas of people, processes, and technology. Technology aims to address the needs of our technical security level, whilst people and processes impact organisational awareness and security posture. our so-called maturity level. The aim of any cybersecurity program is to protect as many assets as possible, and especially those most critical assets. But it's not practical to protect everything in equal measure, and it's more important that we first identify those assets which are the most valuable or safety critical, and then prioritise these assets for the greatest level of protection and risk reduction. And this is what is meant by a risk-based approach. A holistic and effective security program rollout will be a long-term commitment, ever evolving, and will address these three core strategic areas. Included within that holistic security program will be the key and strategic supply chain who serve the needs of the organisation. Supply chain for critical infrastructure is complex. It comprises IT vendors as well as OT vendors, each with different levels of maturity in terms of standards and standardisation within their products. And this not only encompasses technology suppliers, but also system integrators and third-party service providers, and also the asset owner operator themselves. Standards help support define the requirements on security for all links in the chain, and goes a long way to help effective communication and management of the roles and responsibility between all parties. Standards such as ISO 27001 and IEC 62443, alongside certification and conformity assessment against those, are important tools for implementing a successful and holistic cybersecurity program, and provides confidence of all stakeholders by demonstrating not only the use of security measures based on best practice, but also that an organisation has implemented the measures efficiently and effectively. Some examples of relevant standards are shown here. IEC 62443 Parts 3-3 and 4-2, they target technical requirements for products and systems providers, focusing on security levels based upon secure architectures, designs and features. Parts 2-1, 2-4 and 4-1 target process requirements, which gives an indicator of the maturity level of the organisation with respect to the people and practices such as secure product development lifecycle requirements and security program requirements for service providers and asset owners. And it's through this process of identifying the high-risk assets and organisational needs and the key stakeholders that we can then approach setting the target requirement for our secure implementation or our operational practices. We understand security levels and security level ratings, how they apply to technical measures, but we also need to consider the risks which may exist within the maturity level of all those key stakeholders, including our own organisation. So by combining both the security level and the maturity level, we can then determine what is the overall current and target protection level for the aims of our security program. And this then allows us to target application of the most appropriate and the most effective measures to reducing risk. So as mentioned, standards such as IEC 62443 and ISO 27001 are horizontal in focus and offer global requirements and guidance for both the OT and IT domains respectively. However, there exists within specific industrial domains those vertically focused standards and requirements, each unique to the application of security relevant to those industries. Operational practices can also be unique to the target industry, and it's because of this that IT-focused cybersecurity approaches are often difficult to translate into an OT security program. Therefore, in preparing for cybersecurity and when developing a strategy to implementation, domain expertise is crucial. Domain experts such as Siemens and our various partners, as well as other OT security focused businesses, can add value through delivery of domain-specific industrial security services. Using the example of an electricity grid substation, such services can support network scanning and auditing for asset discovery and technical risk profiling, secure system architecture design based on those industry relevant standards and operations, security awareness training and development of policy and procedures, and regulatory compliance and risk management guidance to navigate relevant frameworks and standards for development of an implementation roadmap and ultimately a sustainable cybersecurity management system. And in implementing solutions, it's leveraging the domain expertise for development of domain-specific and IEC 62443 compliant blueprints, such as the TÜV certified Siemens Secure Substation Blueprint shown here, which can then form the basis for a standardized risk management approach to the delivery of secure ICS solutions for industry and critical service providers. So to summarize, standards provide the frameworks for effective management of cybersecurity threats. However, it's the application of these frameworks to our OT environment alongside domain-specific standards and norms, which can be the challenge. Taking a risk-based approach to the implementation of cybersecurity is recommended, and leveraging on OT domain expertise will support the delivery of an appropriate and holistic cybersecurity program. Wider understanding and adoption of IEC 62443 and ISO 27000 principles is foundational to building confidence within the supply chain. And through the wider deployment of certified solution blueprints, we can build a sustainable approach to cyber resilience within critical infrastructure.